or more parallel lines are cut by two transversals. Then proportional measures on the transversals are created, or then there are proportional parts on the transversals. All right, so at this point, phones are away. Captain America is on duty for taking phones during this period today. Notes should be out. That's going to be our biggest part that we're going to write today is kind of our definition. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to write that down, and then we're going to talk about what that means. Maybe review a couple key words.
It'll be similar to last week, part 1. But we've been doing like only 2 parallel lines, but today it can be more than 2. So just like it says, 3 or more parallel lines now. But essentially we're doing slightly the same thing.
I know. All right, so a couple of reviews. Let's talk about parallel. What did parallel mean again? What does parallel mean again? Okay, lines that don't touch. What's a transversal? Yeah, it goes across. Nice job, Ansel. That was impressive. Transversal goes all the way back to chapter 3. Way back here, transversal is a line that intersects two coplanar lines at 2 different points. So it's just a line that goes across both parts. Nice job. That was impressive. How did you remember that? It was like 3 chapters ago. All right, so, and then what does proportion mean again? What does a proportion look like? Not necessarily that are congruent. Kind of looks like, when you do a proportion, it's like 2 fractions that are equal when we compare parts. Good. So they're just about the same size, just up or down. All right, go ahead and you're going to get this glue in. So go ahead and just glue that in. You can glue it on the left or the right side, whichever makes you happy. I just restocked those tubs. So everyone should have lots of glue. Please try and keep those tubs organized. All right, so go ahead and get that glued in. And then as we work today, I'm going to be using 4 colored pencils. I have pink, green, purple, and orange. Purple? Blue. Purple. So you can grab out 4 colored pencils. Again, I just restocked those tubs. They're nice and clean. You should have glue. Mr. Kwan. Other glue in. Don't glue this one in. Don't glue it in. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't glue it in. You have this one glued in on the next page. That one's for tomorrow. You did. Okay. So if you already glued it in tomorrow's page. Yep, glue that one in for tomorrow's page.
Not bad.
So if you already glued that one, just glue it in on tomorrow's page. If you already glued that one, glue it for tomorrow. This one's for today. Good catch.
No, I go for
Oh,
tomorrow. The next page.
Beautiful. All right, so if you already glued that one in, try and glue it in for tomorrow's. This one is for today's.
That was my fault. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay.
It's okay, Mr. Khan. I forgive you. We're just now really, really ready for tomorrow. It'll be perfect. I got them. Thanks, though.
Period 3 and 4.
Period 4. I don't need one for period 3. That's algebra, you goof. Oh my goodness. It's all happening. It's okay. We're doing all right. No one died yet. All right, so as we work today, I'm going to use 3 colored pencils. I'm using purple, green, orange, and pink. I don't think you guys have pink, but you might have red, so you could use that, or you could use yellow. You're supposed to be. That's why our phones are away. Alright, phones are still away. We're going to get started in about 15 more seconds. You can find those colored pencils. They're in the zipped bag, which is where they should go back. Please try not just throwing these away. I know throwing your pencils back in the bins. I know it's a lot easier to just throw them right in the bin without putting them in the bag, but it's a lot easier to keep those boxes organized and make sure everyone has the right stuff. Alright, so here we go with the first one. In this first one, what are our 3 or more parallel lines? What's one of our parallel lines? Good. AW is parallel to what else? Good. BX. And? Good. And CY. So AW is parallel to BX, which is parallel to CY. Alright, now we have that, we can now compare our proportional parts, which we have a couple here. So if I compare AB, what part could I compare AB to on the other transversal? Not YX. BC would be on the same transversal. I want the other transversal. Yeah, XW, the one right across from it. They kind of share there. So AB and XW. So because of that, we can say AB over, you can do XW or WX. Alright, what else can I compare? Good. BC can go with XY. And then there's one more length that we can compare here. And that last length we can compare is the total length. So from A to C, we can compare that to WY. And the reason we can do this with 3 parallel lines is really we could create 3 similar triangles here if we made these connect. And it'd be the same as we did yesterday. It's just instead of drawing those triangles out, we're just imagining eventually they connect, or we're just taking that shortcut. So AC over WY.
So how we talked about last week, like having 2 triangles overlapping on each other. Imagine like this one we have 3 triangles that's overlapping on each other.
And we could connect these lines to the point where they cross, where they touch. And that would be that first triangle, then a second medium triangle, and then our big triangle. All right, so that's kind of our big basis for today. And then we're just going to solve these problems like we have been and setting them up similarly. Okay, it shouldn't be anything too new for us. All right, so as we go to that first problem, we're looking for that question mark, that missing amount. So I'm going to start with that question mark, and I want to compare that to something. So I want to put that over something. What can we compare the question mark to? Sure, 8, the one that's right across from it, which is 8. So question mark over 8 equals Now, what else can I compare with that question mark? Remember, on top, I need a relationship there. What would go on the same side as that question mark? Does 10 have a relationship with that missing part here? No. So one relationship is straight across from it. That's the 8. Another relationship, we want to look at the same side on that same transversal. So I'm looking,
27.
Yep, just the 27. Good. So with that 27, this is the part some of us got stuck on last week on some of our homework. What number does 27 pair with?
18.
Yeah, it doesn't pair with 10. How did we get 18, Carter?
You add the 8.
Yeah, we're looking at the whole length. Good, so 8 plus 10. So if you need to write that down as a reminder, because you're going to look back at this during your notes or during your homework or during your test, where that 18 came from. $27 represented the whole length, so we needed the whole length here from end to end. All right, last step here. How am I going to solve this to get that question mark by itself? Good, multiply by 8. And if we do it on one side? Good, both sides. So question mark equals. And then all we're left to do in our calculator is 27 divided by 18 times 8. And we get 12. All right, I'm going to do that one more time on my calculator just in case you weren't paying attention. 27 divided by 18 times 8. I get 12. All right, we have one more. This one we're going to solve for x. In this bottom problem, our directions are to solve for x. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what this will look like during your, we're going to do it first, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what that looks like during your practice, because it'll look a little different. So first thing we always want to start with is our unknown. We want that unknown in the numerator, our x. So where do we see our x? Good, negative 7 plus 4x. So that whole thing goes in the numerator. What can I compare with that negative 7 plus 4x? Yeah, we could do it with the 15. Do those share side? Yeah, so we could put it over 15. That works. So that's just me looking at one transversal. There's a couple ways to do this. In the first one, we looked across the parallel lines for the transversals. Here we started by looking at one transversal. Now as I look at the other transversal, I need to match those parts, those corresponding parts. So what matches 15 in this other transversal? 9. So 9 is going to go on the bottom with 15 because those match. We have to do a little bit of thinking here to figure out what matches that negative 7 plus 4x. Is 24 just that green part? When 24 has these little lines at the end, that means that it's doing a total, even if it doesn't quite look like it's a total. So that's telling us that the whole length on top is 24. How'd you find 15?
24 minus 9.
Good, so 24 minus 9 equals 15. So in the numerator there, we have 15. You could set it up this way. Another way you could have set it up is doing negative 7 plus 4x over 15 equals 15 over 9. It would have been a little bit similar. It ends up looking the same, just how we set it up. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to solve this, and our goal is to get x by itself. So what do we have to undo first? We can get rid of the negative 7, the 4, or the 15. Yeah, the 15, this negative 7 plus 4x, they're together on the top, so it's like they're in parentheses. So we're going to undo dividing by 15 first. How would we undo divide? Multiply. On the left side here, on our beginning side, these 15s undo each other, so we're left with this negative 7 plus 4x equals, and this part I'm going to throw into my calculator. I don't know that off the top of my head. 15 divided by 9 times 15. So 15 divided by 9 times 15. And we get 25. Remember, our goal is to get x by itself. So now I need to get rid of the 4 or the negative 7. Which one comes next? Negative 7. How do we get rid of negative 7? Good, plus 7. If we do it to one side? Other side, good. $32. Is that right? Tried doing it in my head. I think so. All right, and then the last step here is to undo this 4 with the x. Good, divide by 4. And you can either use that fraction line to divide, or you can use that division symbol, either way. Eight. On your practice today, for these types of problems, a couple of things that they're going to ask you to do, or I'm going to ask you to do, because I didn't want to write this whole thing out in your practice. So pause for a moment, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen, pause, pause, pause. Appreciate you guys putting those color pencils away. That makes me so happy, actually. All right, on your practice today, it's going to ask you for this first step, setting this up. It's going to ask for the second step here, just this equation, what it equals, and then it's just going to ask for this final answer. All this work in between is important. It's not that you don't have to do those things. You have to do those things to find the answer. It's just, in order to type it into Schoology, it was like a lot of work, and it looked really, really confusing. So on these problems, these are the 3 parts of things that you're going to enter in.
Ms. Morel?
Yep.
So we have a question, because we pair this together,
Mm-hmm.
but they also have a relationship across.
Correct.
We put them together instead?
Yep. Exactly. So, and what's silly here is if I flip them around, they actually end up being the exact same fraction in these ones. But yeah, so either they have to match up and down. So like these ones, it was pink and pink together, and purple together. Or they have to match across, like greens are on top, pinks are on bottom. So lots of ways for these relationships to work.